The one thing that we like about this weight loss behavior coaching is it gives you the ability to stand out amongst your peers. It gives you the ability to really help these clients reach their goals because it needs to be more than the physical side. But the physical side is super important.
Hi, I'm Scott Schutte.
And I'm Dr. Janine Stichter.
Welcome to Becoming the Ultimate Coach with the Jock
And the Doc.
We are here to disrupt some of the current thinking around how the fitness industry approaches clients. Our goal is to educate and inspire fitness professionals to get the results, income, hours, and career that they want and deserve.
Our combined experience in education in psychology and fitness create a new insight on ways to become the ultimate coach.
Welcome to Becoming the Ultimate Coach. I'm the Jock. This is the Doc, and today we're going to talk about personal trainers that just want to do the workout side of training. So if you've watched a lot of our past videos, we get a lot into this lifestyle, this weight loss behavior coaching, all these different components to help clients reach their goal. But occasionally we hear from trainers that they just want to do the workout side. So the first answer is, that's okay. One of the first things that we do with all our staff at our gym is we have Janine go over, personality testing, different behaviors, different, really what their values are. And so the beauty of this industry is there's so many different routes you can go with it. The one thing that you have to understand is if you're working with clients that want weight loss, you have to have someone in their life that is addressing this. Now, the other side is if you just want to do the training side, you can definitely do that. You just have to get really good at the training side. You have to specialize in different stuff like knee rehab, shoulder rehab. You have to be able to find ways to stand out. Because the problem with just doing the workout side is that's what almost every coach is able to do. The one thing that we like about this weight loss behavior coaching is it gives you the ability to stand out amongst your peers. It gives you the ability to really help these clients reach their goals because it needs to be more than the physical side. But the physical side is super important. So I don't want you to get discouraged if this isn't a route you want to go, but it's something that your clients need. And if it isn't a route you're going to go, it's something that you need to find a way to specialize in the workout side. So Janine, you want to kind of break that down on like what makes clients or what makes trainers kind of stand out and also like what they should be thinking about with career and behaviors and whether they want to do this or whether they don't want to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a couple things to think about from your own personal standpoint. And one of them is where is your comfort level stemming from? So in other words, if let's say you've had a lot of training and experience doing that physical part of the training with and coaching your clients, and you're comfortable in that area, you know that you've had some education in and experience, moving over to this other part of talking to clients about what's going on at home, what their late night snacking issues are, where their insecurities are about their weight or where they want to go, can feel very foreign. It's like, I didn't go to school for this, I wasn't. And so start asking yourself, is it just sort of this concern about imposter syndrome and what you just need is a little bit more education, which is something that we're passionate about helping people with, and or is it, I know what I want to say, I know some key things about this, I've been researching this on my own, I've been going to trainings, but I'm just not sure how to word it or how to have that communication. Or I'm a 25-year-old guy and I'm talking to a 50-some-year-old woman, she's not going to respect anything I have to say. So sometimes it's helpful to really break that down, and then that way you can look at, from an educational standpoint or a mentorship, like how do I have those conversations? The other big thing is, and Scott talked about before, is we look at personalities. And so a lot of times I talk with trainers and coaches about who they are naturally. Are they a processor? Do they like to think about things and then answer? Are they kind of on the fly, go think on their feet and just want to respond to people? And when you know that, you can also think about how you communicate with clients. So maybe you have some thoughts, but again, being on the floor and somebody mentioning that they want to lose that weight or they're not feeling good in their clothes or things like that, it's really hard to respond. And we've talked before in other these types of episodes where we've talked that being on the floor is really hard for your clients to process, but it's also hard for you at times to process. They're asking good or interesting questions or complicated, and I need to think about that or I want to do some research. So own that. Say, I'm hearing you. Let me think about that, and then this is why a separate service or session to really talk about that allows you to process it, allows you to look up for information, and then be prepared to share that. So just thinking about a few of those things of your personality And again, as Scott mentioned, some people really might not want to extend the type of coaching they do into this realm. But most folks are working with the general pop, and this is a need. And so kind of thinking about some of those facets.
Yeah, so this is something that we have all of our coaches at my gym go through. And it's interesting watching them go through this process because a lot of them are used to the strength training side of it on the floor. They've lifted for the last, 10 years. They've gone through some college education courses on how to do this. So they're a bit intimidated by this just because they haven't had the experience and just the baseline level of education with this. And this is why we created this course, and this is why it's so nice that we have this platform to have all our coaches go through this. And over time, they become more comfortable with this. So if it's something like you haven't experienced yourself, like I challenge you to find someone that's doing this and actually use them to learn yourself. It's like when I was learning Olympic lifting, like I found the best Olympic lifting coach around and had them take me through that so that I have a better understanding of doing that. And since I've gone through that process, that makes me better at coaching that with clients. So one, kind of experiencing this for yourself. And two, there's just so many different resources with this. Yes, we created this course to help people learn this, but there's so many different things out there. Like there's so many different TED Talks on happiness or mindset. There's so many different books out there on these different categories. So just getting a lot of those different pieces of information and knowledge so you have a better understanding to talk to clients about this. Now, like what I said in the beginning, this might not be the best thing for you. You might want to go a different route, which is the training side. But the problem is if you are working with general pop, like Janine said, like someone needs to be addressing this with them. Because these clients need more than just a workout. They need someone to help them uncouple some of these different thoughts they have or these habits so that they can start living a leaner, healthier, happier life.
Yeah, and I think a theme from this too is that as with a lot of things, let's say you are that 25-year-old male trainer and you've got a 50-year-old woman that you're working with. You don't have to be the expert on their life. You are a guide. And if you think about this journey as you are a guide that's helping them think about stress management, relationships, happiness, it doesn't mean that you're the expert in all of those areas. None of us are an expert in everything. But being able to ask really good questions, making them think about things differently, having that toolbox of resources, whether it's TED Talks and books to think about and look at, and or different medical providers or other ancillary providers that will be supportive of some of the things that they're looking for, let's say stress management, reducing that through acupuncture, other things. But you're that guide and you're helping them kind of work through some of this, thinking about this, and also helping them prioritize things. Because again, you don't have to be all-encompassing knowledge, but a lot of people just need one person that can kind of really help them think about it, not get overwhelmed, not be discouraged, celebrate the small wins with them, and then just really guide them through this process.
Yeah, we were at a conference this last week, and I really like this concept of talking about guide and expert. Is the client you're working with is the expert on their own life. No one's going to know their lives better, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, what their unhealthy habits are, what their replacements are going to be. But you as the guide is going to help them kind of figure out what's the best route for them to really enjoy life, really and match that up with their fitness goals. Because so much of this is just asking them questions like she's saying of like, what do you like eating and what do you do for fun? What are these big caloric offenders? They have all these answers. You're just helping them put the pieces together. So don't feel intimidated by not having the life experience that person had. You're just kind of help them kind of clear up the thoughts and give them direction. Because this industry is so big on extremes, and that's what people see. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to go Whole30, or I'm going to go 75 hard, or I'm going to give up carbs, or I'm going to give up sugar, all these different things. And some of these can be beneficial, but a lot of it's just like, that's such a big extreme from where they're at. Can we just take a step, and can we guide them on a direction towards that? Because some of these things have some good components to it. But what we see is people just go, all in on one thing, then all out. And we just got to help them guide them. I'm like, okay, let's just find some improvement on what we're doing so that it doesn't seem extremely hard and you can still reach your fitness goals.
Well, and that really embodies that word guide, right? Guide is just part of this journey, someone that's along with you along the journey. And that really highlights the notion that this is a process and not an outcome. It's not in 30 days, I will be in the shape that I want, look amazing in my clothes, and done. This is a process. Your client might look amazing in 30 days or even better, but the point is it's just a lifelong process. And so by you as that guide, stepping them through those piece by piece, and again, celebrating. We've talked about this before, but people need to have small wins, and then we need to build up on those. So although this extremes can create short-term gains, the long-term is that roller coaster, that yo-yo, those types of things. So again, embracing that, walking through that with them. And to Scott's point too, is asking those good questions. You'll be amazed at how many times people will say to you, wow, nobody really asked me what I do for fun, or what my hobbies are, or I hadn't even thought about what my big caloric offenders are. Like I know I snack, but I hadn't thought about what I snack on, or when I do it, or even how often I do it. Or stress management. Some people are just so used to having stress as part of almost a badge of honor. How you doing? I'm busy, I'm stressed, you too, yeah. And it's almost like you're supposed to be stressed, because if you're not, like, people are gonna frown on you. And so people haven't even thought about how that stress is impacting the other goals that they have. So again, embrace that process guide. And just as with your clients, you're taking this bit by bit, do that for yourself. Get some basic education, and then sort of look at this as a process for yourself, and not feeling like you've got to be the master of all these things tomorrow if you want to embrace adding this service or adding this type of process with your clients.
So just to recap, if you want to stick with just the physical side, there is a path for you. But if you are working with general pop that are looking to lose weight, you need to find someone that can do this. And the other thing to challenge you on is, just because you feel a bit intimidated by this doesn't mean you can't learn the skills to do that. It will take a little bit of education, will take a little bit of time, it will take a little bit of just experience of working with clients. But it's amazing the change you can get with people when you really kind of dive into this and see those results. So, till next time.